Good old Vladimir, vote blue no matter who Lenin. If you shill for the Democrats, you are a Zayo, my friend. Proper haram, bro. Rubber dinghy rapids, bro. Proper haram. This is not halal, my friend. Hasan wasn't this bad, right? He was watching Bad Empanada videos back then. And he had you Gopnik on his stream back in the day. I lie? I'm not a commie, I'm a right winger, and I'm like, holy fuck, you don't do this. What Hasan is doing here is haram. You could go to Jahannam for this. You can't do this. This is fucked up. This is twisting other people's beliefs to do propaganda for the Democrats. What?
Probe away.
Jewish and POC chatters ask Hasan Piquer to not support Graham Plataner. Hasan responds by mocking them and says they are doing rad lib shit. This is the new buzzword, rad lib, rad lib. If you don't agree with someone, rad lib. I don't even know what that means. People, what does rad lib mean? He keeps using this shit. Hasan says, I'm happy with what liberals are doing, which is let's see this one. Easel Cat, they use radical talk, but their actions are lib. Yeah, he's using it as a slur right now. But doesn't that apply to him? I don't know.
Why should we expect to be actively supporting him though? I'm Jewish and cannot fucking support a dude who killed children, got a Nazi tattoo as an adult. Did I say that? I didn't. Because at the end of the day, your support and my support, which is not expected at all, doesn't fucking matter. Okay? I think we like to see ourselves as more relevant in this conversation than we actually are. I'm not saying you should support the guy. He has a fucking totem cough on his chest. If you don't support him, you don't support him. It is what it is. Having said that, the thing that actually gives me a little bit of confidence is that liberals support him when there is a viable centrist alternative hand-selected by the fucking establishment Democrats. A lot of people are not hearing what I am saying, okay? Every single person in here, including the fucking Mainers, could actively not support Graham Plattner. But as long as liberals do, I think that's a sign for better things to come, because next time around, there is going to be a fucking candidate who is running on a left flank ticket who is going to say the same things that Graham Plattner is saying and won't have the fucking insane background. Okay. And guess what? I suspect liberals will be going along with that candidate too, as opposed to whatever centrist pick there is. Your support does matter, Hasan. It matters to your minority fans and those. Dude, this is literally the fucking. Your support does matter, Hasan. It matters to your minority fans and those of us from the third world that know victims of Blackwater Mercs and U.S. imperialism. Oh my God, this is radlib tendencies, but this time in an anti-imperialist land. What the fuck is happening? What is going on? What is happening here? Okay, well, don't worry about it. All right, if you're living in the third world, the main Democratic primary unseating Susan Collins is not going to move the needle in any direction for you, okay?
What the fuck is he talking about?
You understand that, right? Because it's not like Susan Collins is like a radical third worldist.
Who the fuck is Susan Collins? Holy shit.
That was third worldist, and neither is Janet Mills. So from your perspective, from your background, the output is all the same. America's war machine continues, okay?
Okay, and so why are you still discussing it?
This is just someone trying to make an argument against a position that I'm not even holding, okay? I'm genuinely convinced Adrian Chat is selectively deaf today and think that you've been constantly endorsing this guy instead of just reading the general attitude of liberals. Yeah, I'm happy with what liberals are doing.
I'm happy with what the liberals are doing? What?
Why?
Shit. Yeah, he's using radlib as a slur these days. Anytime someone points out that Graham Plattner is a war criminal, he calls them radlibs, right? Bear G, he talking about this right now. Talking about what? Easel Cat. If you look up radlib in the dictionary, there is a pic of Hasan. This is why I unfollowed Abu Turki. He gaslights too much when he gets valid pushback from guys like Bad Empanada. Excuse me? We literally have people who got murdered by people like him. Oh, this is radlib shit. That day Hasan went to Kirk's. Reason Hasan is famous is because he doesn't make people feel as though they have to actually study. Reason being he himself is very uneducated. And you can tell his fan base attacks you when you point this out because they follow him as a person instead of following scientific socialism. Exactly. This is it. Yeah. Yo, his fan base do attack you. Try saying something nice about Bad Empanada or some shit. Just something basic. You will get brigaded. Easel Cat, is this true? He also says reading theory is useless. Did he say this? Vagina Bush. Imagine accusing Palestinians of being radlibs for talking about their family members having been murdered by an ex-IDF soldier who recently started saying the right stuff for liberals. Exactly. Kirks, he's not hot though. Mary Jane, you don't like tiny heads. Nah, nobody is coming for you, Kirks, except for Bear G. Culting literally him defending Ethan Klan until they had a falling out. Lamau. Yeah, I mean, why would you be your auntie dead? Your auntie screamed at me? Oh, really? Ah, shit, I must have not been paying attention. I missed that one. JC, Hasan is a 5 out of 10 man with a good diet, skincare routine who exercises. Radish fest, tiny pamphlet reading circles is better than screaming at a Twitch chat alone in some room. Bergie, I don't feel this is fair. Oh, come on, Bergie, come on. You agree with everything I said about Graham Platana and shit. And then you pull this out. What do you mean I don't feel this is fair? Let me check what you were replying to. Oh, the reason. Yo, the reason Hasan is famous is not fair? What? What do you mean, Bergie? Okay, Bergie, which part of it is not fair? Okay, Bergie? Look, I'm a HasanAbi head. I agree with it. Like, yeah, that you just said that part was not fair, and then you said, yeah, that part is fair. But Hasan, bro, yo, Bergie, Hasan dropped Platana because of the tattoo. He didn't drop the guy because he was a murderer, because the guy murdered West Asian babies. You know that's worse, like Bergie. He dropped Platana because of a fucking tattoo. Not because the guy was a murderer, not because of Blackwater, not because of Abu Ghraib, not because of all that shit, because of a tattoo. That's worse than not dropping him. That shows how depraved you are, that a tattoo bothered you. Not actual murder of West Asian babies, Bergie. A tattoo. That's what triggered. War crimes? That's fine. That's okay. War crimes? Who gives a shit about war crimes? Who gives a shit about West Asian babies, right? Tattoo though. Oh no, tattoos. Oh shit. He has a Nazi tattoo? You literally live in a Nazi country. Holy shit. Yo, Bergie, you gotta make sense one of these days. I'm trying to be as calm as possible, okay, Bergie? I'm trying not to crash out. Yo, imagine not knowing the guy is a murderer. Bro, watch one Bad Empanada video. I beg. Bro, holy fuck. I don't think he knew about this guy's whole job is to face the fucking screen looking at news 8 hours a day. And he doesn't know this. That's his literal job. He gets millions looking at the screen, Bergie. How do you not know? Right? I'm the most ignorant motherfucker in here, and I know. How is it possible that this guy is supposed to be a university student? This guy went to uni and shit, and his whole job is looking at the news 8 hours a day, does not know this shit, and I know this shit. I'm the most ignorant motherfucker in here. How does this motherfucker not know, Bergie? Bergie, you know this makes no sense, right? Mary Jane, that guy's tat artist shouldn't be near a machine. How do you get a Nazi tattoo anyway? Where do you get a Nazi tattoo? That's what I want to know. Yeah, this is it. Vagina Bush. Imagine defending Musk until he did the salute. Do people understand how fucked up this is? That symbolisms and novelties is what triggers you, not actual killings? JC, he's got what? A master's in political science? He's not me, right? I didn't go to Ivy Leagues, right, Vagina Bush? I did not go to Ivy League, Vagina Bush. A master's in political science. He's not someone incapable. Imagine having a master's in political science and not knowing basic facts about someone you want a platform. What up, Outer Signal Media? The war crimes are way worse than the tattoo. Yo, no, that's, what do you mean way worse? It's way worse than the tattoo. Unthinkably way worse than the tattoo. You can't even imagine the distance of worse between the war crimes and the tattoo, and yet the likes of HasanAbi, that's the straw that broke the camel's back, the tattoo, not the war crimes, which is way. The distance is unthinkable. It's like this galaxy to like a billion galaxies away. That's the distance of way worse between war crimes and the fucking tattoo. And yet to the Yankees. Look, Bergie, the internet exists. Bergie, you pretend as if, okay, Bergie, I'm not going to talk about you anymore. I'm going to not be able to sleep if I think about your logic. If I think about your mental gymnastics, I'm not going to be able to sleep. Vagina Bush, meanwhile, I dropped out of uni and I don't defend Yang imperialism. Kirks, he openly aligns himself with other Democrats because that's his politics, right? You can't even defend him by saying he's pro-Palestine. How are you pro-Palestine and then you shill for the people that kill Palestinians? How does that make any sense? Ukraine is where you get Nazi tattoos. Yo. Ukraine. Vagina Bush. Democrats were silent about the genocide but lost their shit at the Elon salute. Yes. Yo, they lost. I don't want to bring it back, but remember the Charlie Kirk situation? Yo, even the fucking Collargate, the Kaya Collargate. The whole of Yankee land lost their shit over a collar gate more than they did over the G side. Call Inc. No, it didn't. He dropped video way ahead of time warning Hasan not to endorse Plataner. And Hasan literally knew he worked for Blackwater and mentioned it was sus while yelling at everyone for purity spiraling. Nah. I'm learning a lot of new terms. Purity spiraling. Holy shit, that's a new one. Culting also, I think Hasan just has a bachelor's. Hasan also dismisses valid criticism as unserious pamphlet reading nonsense. Holy shit. He hates the commies while simultaneously misquoting pamphlets to supposedly prove his point. That's fucked up. He is literally against the left wing. He's a Nazi probably. Who says stuff like this? I'm a right winger. I don't say stuff like this. And I'm a right winger. I don't say stuff like this. You got to be a Nazi to say stuff like this. And Yankees are Nazis unless they prove themselves otherwise. Like, I'll be real. Mary Jane, you know BE was DMing him too probably. Yeah, BE really cares about Hasan. Like, I'll be real. I think he really does care about Hasan. Easel Cat, Hasan will back Bernie and AOC forever. That's his party. Yeah, I don't get that. I'll never understand that. Yusuf, BE is too nice to Hasan. Yeah. BE cares about him. Like, I think quite literally. Purity spiraling is when you don't believe the Abu Ghraib concentration camp guard with a Nazi tattoo is a good person because he said he's a communist on a Reddit once. Oh yeah, he does have commie decor. Doesn't he have like a Lenin? Let me check his. Nah, fuck it. I don't care. Whatever. Doesn't he have like a Lenin bust or some shit? And then you talk shit about pamphlets? What? And talk shit about, people reading theories? But you have a Lenin bust on your shelf? That's fucked up, bro. He has the hat too. Yo, Bergie, what is this video? What is this video? Yo, Bergie, you do understand this is fucked up, right, Bergie? Yeah, Bergie, you always do not believe victims, okay, Bergie? You have this pattern where you don't believe victims. The victim in this case is commies, okay? You're always going to believe the perpetrator first. That's how it works in your mind. Okay, so I'm going to watch. Yo, Bergie, stay in the chat, right, Bergie? Stay in the chat. We're going to watch a video. Let's watch a video together, right, Bergie? Right? JC, my goat, and it's a guy that defending killing thousands up to millions of people who protected a prison he said my goat. He really said my goat, who defended sexual assault, and they try to soften it and be like, he just asked why don't black people tip. He said my goat. Wait, Blakely too? What do you mean Blakely? Yo, this is Ping. Fuck you, Ping. The S4A. Okay, I'm gonna watch this S4A video. No nut until Lenin comes back to life. Okay, it's half an hour. I hope I could have I hope I have the attention span for this. Right? Pray to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala that I have the attention span for this. So Bergie, stay with me. Bergie, stay with me. Right? We're gonna do this together, right, Bergie? Let's do this together.
One thing in the struggle to bring that process to its conclusion that we really cannot tolerate is people trying to mislead the masses by distorting the statements of respected Marxist leaders who have made significant contributions to working class politics. I've been doing these readings for years. I know the context that statements were made in, and I'm going to help you understand how Hasan is taking things out of context to support Democratic Party politicians, which is just a dead end for the U.S.
Okay, I think I understand. I just went in straight in, but you do understand what Hasan is trying to do, right? He's trying to use Lenin's writings to justify support for the Democrats. Make it make sense, people. I'm just gonna skip the intro
clip.
Then whatever pamphlet reading left group that you have.
Oh, he said it. He said it. Holy shit.
Clip.
Then whatever pamphlet reading left group that you have with your dumbass friends. That's just the reality. So you have to work within the existing reality instead of sitting around and fantasizing about a spontaneous revolution.
I'm sensing there's going to be a lot of gaslighting, a lot of insults in this video.
Shut up. You are unserious.
If you're letting this guy talk to you like that, let alone paying for the privilege, you've given up. You might as well just give money to Hakeem Jeffries.
Oh, I have the utmost best possible alternative. It's called moral infallibility.
These are standard ResistBot, Blue Wave account, Blue MAGA zombie cult talking points. That's what happens when you get too close to the Democratic Party. All they have is people yelling at you, talking down to you, insulting your intelligence, insulting your perception of reality for taking a stance against capitalism as a whole and refusing to get sucked into it. The implication here, as he already overtly made in this clip, is that there's nothing beyond capitalist politics. History shows that's not true. And it's true that not every moment in history is a revolutionary moment, but we start preparing for the revolutionary moment in the time before it happens. That means agitating, educating, and organizing, working on what we call the subjective factor, building class consciousness and militancy. What this guy is saying is ultimately aimed at prolonging the system. That is the opposite of what we want. If you don't see that yet, stay with it. Not everybody does see it at first, especially when you've spent your whole life inundated by capitalist propaganda.
I mean, this is the classic. Left-wing communism and infantile disorder. Should we participate in bourgeois parliaments? It is with the utmost contempt and the utmost levity that the German left communists reply to this question in the negative. Their arguments, in the passage quoted above, we read, all reversion to parliamentary forms of struggle, which have become historically and politically obsolete, must be emphatically rejected.
Emphatically. It means with emphasis.
This is said with ridiculous pretentiousness and is patently wrong. Reversion to parliamentarism, forsooth. Perhaps there is already a Soviet Republic in Germany. It does not look like it. How, then, can one speak of reversion? It is not an empty phrase. Parliamentarism has become historically obsolete. That is true in the propaganda sense. However, everybody knows that this is still a far cry from overcoming it in practice. Capitalism could have been declared, and with full justice, to be historically obsolete many decades ago. But that does not all remove the need for a very long and very persistent struggle on the basis of capitalism. Parliamentarism is historically obsolete from the standpoint of world history, i.e. the era of bourgeois parliamentarism is over and the era of proletarian dictatorship has begun. That is incontestable, but world history is counted in decades. 10 or 20 years earlier or later, 10 or 20 years earlier or later makes no difference when measured with the yardstick of world history. From the standpoint of world history, it is a trifle that cannot be considered even approximately. But for that very reason, it is a glaring theoretical error to apply the yardstick of world history to practical politics.
Okay, so far he is just reading from left-wing communism. We have it on the channel. I'll link to it in the video description. What Lenin is saying in that passage is he's criticizing those particular communists who are saying that struggling within bourgeois parliaments is of no use whatsoever and shouldn't ever be done. The Marxist position, on the other hand, is that communists should run in bourgeois parliaments with particular caveats, like you don't want to be part of a war government. Like there may be certain conditions where you wouldn't want to do that. But in general, you do want communist parties to run in bourgeois elections, to agitate, to take a head count, basically to advertise the party and see how many people it's attracting. We've done a lot of videos on this in the last year on electoralism, etc. And it's even arguable that in the United States today, there might be some valid reasons not to run. For example, it might just give people the wrong idea that we're going to, take over the capitalist government and do socialism that way. Also that the elections, a lot of people don't even vote. So is it even an accurate head count? And there may be more relatable ways to get into people's lives. So it might not even be effective advertising anymore. But what Lenin was saying is in fact the default Marxist position on elections from Marx and Engels up to this day. And if there are deviations from that, they are the exception. But you're not necessarily even running to win. And if you do win, you got to be really careful about the actions that you do within the capitalist government, that you don't end up giving legitimacy to the capitalist government. And there's a lot even Lenin wrote about the group of Bolsheviks who got elected to the Russian parliament. And the Comintern, when that was set up, also had guidelines for the parliamentary group of whatever communist party was a member party. But I'm not saying that Hasan is wrong because there's some exemption that, this doesn't apply to the United States. There is a major thing, which if he was a Marxist, he would know. And this was also the downfall of Vosh when he was trying to invoke Mao to get you to vote for Joe Biden, is that the entire premise is that you're running in your own party, not in a capitalist party. You're not tailing
That's the key, I guess.
bourgeois politics, as we say. So, in other words, this isn't to do politics in support of the Democratic Party. Political parties, after all, are the concentrated perspective and representative body of a class. So, this is all premised on having a separate communist party and not working within a capitalist political party, like the Democratic Party, which is owned by the 1%. I don't know if he ever is going to connect that in here, but let's continue.
Is parliamentarism politically obsolete? That is quite a different matter. If that were true, the position of the left, but it is proved by a most searching analysis, and the lefts do not even know how to approach the matter. In the thesis on parliamentarism published in the Bulletin of the Provisional Bureau of the Amsterdam of the Communist International, number 1, February 1920, and obviously expressing the Dutch left or left Dutch strivings, the analysis, as we shall see, is hopelessly poor. In the first place, contrary to the opinion of such outstanding political leaders as Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht, the German lefts, as we know, considered parliamentarism politically obsolete even in January 1919. We know that the lefts were mistaken. This fact alone utterly destroys, at a single stroke, the proposition that parliamentarism is politically obsolete. It is for the lefts to prove why their error, indisputable at times, is no longer an error. They do not and cannot produce even a shred of proof. A political party's attitude towards its own mistakes is one of the most important and surest ways of judging how earnest the party is and how it fulfills in practice the obligations towards its class and the working people. Frankly, acknowledging a mistake, ascertaining the reasons for it, analyzing the conditions that have led up to it, and thrashing out the means of its rectification, that is the hallmark of a serious party. That is how it should perform its duties and how it should educate and train its class and then the masses. By failing to fulfill this duty and give the utmost attention and consideration to the study of their patent error, the lefts in Germany and in Holland have proved that they are not a party of a class, but a circle, not a party of the masses, but a group of intellectualists and of a few workers who ape the worst features of intellectualism.
So again, pausing, the joke's on him and he doesn't even know it yet, because although he hasn't stated it in this clip so far, is that Hasan's whole effort here is to rally people behind the Democratic Party. Now, think about the passage he just read there. Lenin is criticizing the German ultra-lefts, that's what he really means when he puts left in quotes, for not frankly acknowledging a mistake, ascertaining the reasons for it, analyzing the conditions that have led up to it, and thrashing out the means of its rectification or setting it straight. Lenin says that is the hallmark of a serious party. That's how it should perform its duties and how it should educate and train its class and then the masses. Again, the error, Lenin says, is that the ultra-lefts have renounced parliamentary struggle. Not that they have quit participating in a bourgeois political party. In fact, Lenin is referring to them as a would-be party that has a class attached to it. Well, what's the Democratic Party's class? If you think it's the working class, you are way behind. Really need to get caught up. The Democratic Party fundamentally is owned by and works for the 1%. They're a genocidal imperialist political party. Let's continue the quote. By failing to fulfill this duty and give the utmost attention and consideration to the study of their patent error, the pseudo-lefts or ultra-lefts in Germany and in Holland have proved that they are not a party of a class, but a circle. So like just sort of an intellectual group, not a party of the masses, but a group of intellectualists and of a few workers who ape the worst features of intellectualism. Intellectualism here being referred to as a petty bourgeois trend, which again in Lenin's writings is often linked to ultra-left errors such as individualist adventurism or would-be ultra-revolutionary sounding activity, which is actually divorced from mass activity and mass consciousness. So that's Lenin's criticism of the German ultra-left. Basically that they are just climbing up their own asshole and in fact retreating from the agitation, education, and organizing work that they need to be doing, connecting with the masses, etc., using every platform in the society that can be used for that effectively. But again, that's what a proletarian party does. That's what a revolutionary socialist party does. Does that apply to the Democratic Party? No, they are in fact our class enemy. And if you want to hear Lenin's criticisms of working with them, go read his writings on opportunism. Again, I'll link some in the video description. Basically, he blamed opportunism for the collapse of the Second Socialist International.
Yo, what do you mean this may be true, Bergie? This is true. What else is it? Which part is maybe true? Yeah, the Democratic Party is out of the picture here. I'm laughing, bro.
It's an opportunist position that Hasan is pushing. Let's continue.
Second, in the same pamphlet of the Frankfurt Group of Lefts, which we have already cited in detail, we read, the millions of workers who still follow the policy of the center, the Catholic Center Party, are counter-revolutionary. The rural proletarians provide the legions of counter-revolutionary troops. Everything goes to show that this statement is far too sweeping and exaggerated. There was another guy, for the record, that also had an intellectual slant that decided that the peasant class would never play a formative role in any sort of...
Oh yeah, my bad. Let me check what you were replying to. He is wedded to the suck damn movement. Oh, what do you mean this may be true? I was right. My response was right. It is true. Bergie, I told you this a month ago. I'm a HasanAbi head. I've seen his video where he proclaims to be a suck them, and you did not agree with me. And now you're starting to agree with me. You were right before you knew. Sorry, because you skipped the start, you missed the explanation on the opportunism position. But it's okay, I think I understand. I think I understand. I think I understand what Hasan is trying to do here.
Revolution, and would unironically be counter-revolutionary. He spent the rest of his days in Mexico, okay? The notion that you cannot win over the masses is antithetical to a mass line developing. The notion that you would assume that you cannot win people over, enough people over to your side.
Okay, but our side is our side. It's not the
he's trying to align. He's trying to use the Lenin text to align what he's saying with Democrats. It's right. It's a bit foul what he's trying to do. It's foul as shit, bro.
The Democratic Party. That's our enemy. That's the enemy side.
Yeah, he's trying to use it to get people to understand the logic of supporting. This is foul, bro. This is a violation. This is a violation. This is like, I don't know. This some religion shit. It's like using the Quran to justify killing like this is what Israel is doing. They're using religious text to justify killing babies. And Democrats are baby killers. So this guy is using text to justify Democrats. This is foul. Come on, Bergie. Holy fuck. He said today that his point is that there has been huge steps with Zohran and Palestine. Zohran, who is running for the party that killed hundreds and thousands of Palestinian babies. This is why this video is important, okay? Nah. Holy shit, people. I think, bro, the good thing is only Bergie is left at this point, right? The rest of y'all is yeah. But I'm not trying to convince Bergie. I'm trying to learn from myself actually. But at the same time, Bergie, you could learn with me. Yeah, even Yusuf is out. Yusuf is checking out. Zohran is a bozo. Yo, Bergie, have you heard what Zohran is saying about Palestine? What he's saying about Hamas? He's saying Zayo talking points about Hamas. He's talking shit about resistance. What do you mean huge steps? Zohran is talking shit about resistance. There's no progress to be made if you talk shit about the resistance. No huge steps, right? I'll be real. What huge steps? It doesn't make sense. The Democrats were the ones who killed Palestinians. People still can't compute this. The Democrats literally killed hundreds and thousands of Palestinian babies. And Zohran is part of that machine. Hassan is trying to equate the Democrat movement to like the working class movement, the proletariat movement. He's trying to equate that. Do you know how foul that is? The Democrats is literally the opposite of any working class movement. The direct opposite. This is a party owned by billionaires. Donald Trumpito was a Democrat. Elon Musk was a Democrat. Are you dumb? Elon Musk was a Democrat. So was Trumpito. They're still Democrats. They just pretend to be right-wing, right? This is a party owned by billionaires, and this is a party that supports billionaires. Who the fuck is trying to equate the fucking Democrats to fucking working class struggle? Are you dumb? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, this is a violation. This is foul, people. This is like using the Quran to justify killing babies, which people do anyway. This is what he's doing. Nah, culting. Zohran is a war criminal because he's part of a war criminal party. No, the Democrats is not a rotting husk. It is a genocidal party. It always has been a genocidal party. Since I was born, the Democrats were genocidal. So I don't know what y'all is talking about. Okay, maybe before I was born they weren't. I don't know. But since I was born, as far as I know, the Democrats have always been genocidal. When has the Democrat not been genocidal? When? Yeah, it's a party owned by billionaires. Literally, a party. The richest motherfucking billionaire in the world is a Democrat. Fucking Elon Musk. So why are people having doubts about this? Why are people like, oh, the Democrats? Why are people doing mental gymnastics about the Democrats? Right? It's super weak and it should stay weak. Okay? They are not a rotting husk. They've always been genocidal. What damns were working class when they were the Klan? Or Bill Clinton, but also Bill Gates. Yeah, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. I don't know why people have hallucinations about Democrats. I don't understand it. Like, I don't get it. Gina Bush, remember what Nazi Galusi said to that one Tawink who asked her about people shifting opinions on capitalism? We're capitalists. I don't understand this hallucination about them. Yo, but what Hassan is doing here is foul, people. Yo, this is fucked up. Yo, this is a horror movie. This is a horror movie. This is that moment this is dystopian as hell.
If you're trying to win people over to the Democratic Party, you are in fact helping the enemy. Why? The Democratic Party does not have internal democracy. You cannot really uphold a socialist platform from within that party. Now, what's getting passed off as a socialist platform is something like Bernie Sanders or AOC or Mamdani. They do not really talk about capitalism as a whole, the need for the end of the profit system of bourgeois private property. They do talk about free buses and free healthcare. As I've said before, in socialism, there will be free buses and free healthcare, but socialism is not when free buses and free healthcare. What these people represent is basically the lost liberal wing of the Democratic Party. Since the 80s, the Democratic Party, as a participant in the planning and execution of the rollout of neoliberalism and the destruction of the social safety net, basically that mid-20th century, quote-unquote, golden age of social democracy in the United States, which wasn't that good for a lot of people anyway, also internally has crushed its internal relatively left wing. I mean, relative to the rest of the party. So basically what Bernie et al. Represent is a resurgence of like 1960s or 1970s liberalism. It's not socialism, it's not communism, it doesn't call for an end to capitalism, and that's why it's in the Democratic Party. They do rail against neoliberalism, but that's very different from being against capitalism itself. And actual communists want you, the listener, to understand the difference. Yes, there is a fight within the Democratic Party for whether their line is going to be, more Republican aping or whether it's going to bring back free buses. But that's the struggle, and it doesn't have to do with capitalism fundamentally. That's what Lenin was talking about, and that's the movement that we need to build. Oriented against capitalism fundamentally. It can be done. Capitalism can be ended. Socialism can be built. We can leave all this behind, but not from within the Democratic Party.
Because of whatever background that they have or whatever worldview that they hold, okay, is antithetical to building any sort of serious movement. It's antithetical to building any sort of solidarity, okay? Ironically, we've moved beyond talking about Graham Plattner here, okay? Like, I'm just specifically talking about the idea that you cannot exhaust all readily available options and that you think a revolution will organize spontaneously.
But that was not what the text was about, though.
Literally no one I know who has any real voice is saying that. You do get some random confused Twitter accounts that think, hashtag general strike is how you build a general strike. It isn't. You need massive organizing. You need labor unions of a kind that we don't have currently. And you need a party of the proletariat organized correctly around communist principles. So this whole argument he's making about, can you actually reach people who are outside of the current discussion? That has nothing to do with it. Again,
it is completely irrelevant because the text is not talking about the fucking Democrats. Holy shit. This is foul, people. I'm 7. Bergie, I don't know if you're younger than me, then follow your own beliefs, not mine. Bro, like, you're younger than me, Bergie. Shut the fuck up. You're younger than me. We can still learn. Holy shit. The fuck is wrong with you? Your ass is younger than me. Shut the fuck up. Vagina Bush, I'm 72. I'm irrelevant. I don't care. Go die. Yo, just use the KYS. Where you go die? What are you, fucking Asian? Go die. I'm older than you. What do you mean go die? Where are you, Asian? Just say KYS like normal people. Go die is a bit vague. This motherfucker is always vague. What do you mean go die? Everybody dies anyway. What do you mean go die? Everybody dies. Even the Highlander would die. Nah, Bergie, I'm older than you. Trust me, papi. I'm pro-dying. Chloe, I'm also 72. Yo, this is foul, people. Holy shit. I'm not a commie. I'm a right-winger. And I'm like, holy fuck. You don't do this. This is haram, bro. What Hassan is doing here is haram. You could go to Jahannam for this. You can't do this. This is fucked up. This is twisting other people's beliefs to do propaganda for the Democrats. What? Marcos, Yanks believe in Messiah politics. They do. That one man or lady, no matter who, as long as they are on your side, yeah. Toto's my word. Yo, what the fuck? There's no irrelevancy for this ecolalia, Vagina Bush. Toto's my word, fam. Sheepdogging, Chloe. Control opposition. Like, I'm a right winger, but you don't do this. You don't use, first of all, you probably don't even believe in it because you're a suck dem, right? You're a suck dem. And then you use other people's text to what? To Toto's my word, fam. Oh, this is fucked up. This is a horror movie. I gotta take a breather. You're watching some dystopian shit, people. This is some Nazi shit.
And he's trying to pull them to the Democratic Party. That's the issue. He just mentioned Graham Plattner. Graham Plattner is a Maine politician running in the Democratic Party. He's basically a prospective member of the squad. And people like Bernie Sanders have come to Plattner's aid in recent weeks as it was revealed that he had a Nazi tattoo, specifically a stylized skull and crossbones tattoo known as a Totenkopf. German for death's head. Yes, it is a Nazi tattoo. He got it somewhere in his many years of military service, most recently working as a mercenary.
Nah, give me a minute. I got to bookmark this shit. I watch horror movies, right? Nothing as scary as this. Ezelcat, end times vibes.
For Blackwater, now known as Constellus, and he claims not to have mentioned it because he didn't know what it meant. But anyway, the point is, we're not talking about rallying people to the left in general and, tactics and strategies for doing that. We're talking about rallying people to the Democratic Party, which is not on the left. And the question is, should you be doing that at all? And I would say no. The system is breaking down and we need to rally people away from the Democratic Party. It's a fundamental task of the US left to do that. And Hasan is pointing people in the opposite direction. Another major task, like I said, rebuilding the labor movement. It's absolutely critical. But again, the Democratic Party here is really the point of contention. In my opinion, it is dishonest to get away from that because it is the main point of criticism here. I wonder if we're going to hear Hasan move back onto that topic.
It is the most idiotic, childlike, infantile, disordered way of thinking of all time.
Okay, again, Hasan does not understand the criticism that Lenin is making in that piece, and so he is invoking that term of ultra-leftism improperly. He is not understanding it, he is misapplying it. And again, it's all to support his opportunism. Another major error. And this is why at this channel, we put the audiobooks in your hands. We help you read them. And if you go to the home tab at the YouTube and just scroll down a little bit, you'll see a list of recommended reading lists from different parties and other groups that have tried to give you a guide to understanding Marxism-Leninism. Because the more you read and understand it yourself, the less susceptible you're going to be to deceptions. And I don't know if Hasan is doing this on purpose or if he really thinks that he understands it and is just misapplying it, and he will apologize and correct himself. But what I can tell you now is anybody who has studied Marxism-Leninism knows that what he is saying is incorrect. He is misapplying this, and Lenin would be criticizing his opportunism heavily.
Yeah, exactly. Vagina Bush, again, what's the appeal? I don't know, man. I was HasanAbi here, but yo, Hasan wasn't this bad, right? He had Ugopnik on his stream back in the day, right? Am I wrong? He wasn't this bad. He was watching Bad Empanada videos back then. And he had Ugopnik, Hugo, on his stream back in the day. I lie? So he wasn't that bad back then, right? Yeah, he's hot, okay? Not gonna lie. Kinda hot, okay? But yeah, he had Hugo on stream back in the day. I lie? He was reading Zay Squirrel. He was watching Bad Empanada videos. And now he's ignoring all those people. He's completely ignoring all those people, right? Like, am I wrong? He had Hugo in the streams back in the day, right? Was I hallucinating that? I remember that. I lie? Yo, people, am I lying? Right? So yeah, that's old Hasan Toivo. He had a lot of actual left-wingers on his streams, but now no more. Mary Jane, right? Mary Jane, he had those people on his streams, right? Yeah, so, but now no more. Now who does he have on his stream? Well, Bernie Sanders, AOC, he wants to platform Graham Platner, an actual murderer. Vagina Bush, when he said the US deserved 911, he was making a good point. But yeah, he has moved right. Also, he's mediocre. Are you even gay? Vagina Bush. You know what? Actually, ladies don't fuck with him. I'll be real. I've asked in real life ladies, what do you think of Hasan? None of them found him cute. They were like, what? This guy? It's a guy thing, I think. I think it's a guy thing. Okay, let's continue with the video. Let's finish the video. Amazing video.
And it's not a new style of thinking at all. It is one that left
Amazing.
have presented against a successful revolutionary such as Vladimir Lenin.
So are we comparing Graham Platner to Lenin now? What's happening here?
You have to exhaust all options, especially while specifically analyzing the material conditions that currently exist.
All right, so this one I love. This is something AOC did a lot too, sprinkling in the term material conditions, as though that's going to justify wanton opportunism. Be on the lookout for that. This won't be the last time you see it.
In your day and age, and looking at how much class consciousness already exists. The exhausted masses are dispossessed. They are oblivious to their class position in the heart of empire. Okay? This is where America was always a capitalist nation. It was a pro-capitalist nation before people were like, we're capitalists. Okay?
Oh yeah, as soldier, we did that video yesterday about Graham Platner. That was an amazing video. And he was a HasanAbi head too, North Star Radio. Yeah, we did that video yesterday. And I posted a shorts about it, I guess.
With its endless territorial domination, its indigenous genocide.
Can we just talk for a minute about bleeping out words like genocide? That is one of the most dystopian things I can imagine. Don't do that.
There's a reason why America was so perfectly positioned to be the heart of capitalism around the globe, okay? And they seized on that opportunity post-World War II. You look at a situation like this, a country like this, and you go, why is there so much towards the left position? And then you fantasize about a revolution spontaneously happening.
Again, no. That is not the position at all. We don't think that there's going to be a spontaneous revolution. It's that people need to organize for it, and they can't organize for it in the Democratic Party. In fact, the Democratic Party will be part of the forces trying to prevent it. Do you get that? It's actually going to be a ton of work. And part of that work is struggling against the false consciousness that the Democratic Party will be promoting at every turn. They'll keep saying, no, we can save the system. And people will be tempted by that. It's much more tempting to think, well, we don't have to go through a really difficult and deadly change in society that's going to shake everything and is going to lead to a lot of short-term severe hardship. But that's the siren song. That's just the system trying to prolong its life and just trying to get another cycle of fascism. Just, one more cycle, bro. Trust me. You can get people to the point where they're willing to just bite the bullet and go through whatever really difficult scenario comes up in order to end capitalism. But if you think the Democratic Party is somehow going to be on that side, you are just blatantly wrong. What we do need to be doing is building up independent proletarian political consciousness and an independent proletarian political party guided by Marxism-Leninism, which is Marxism updated to the era of imperialism and proletarian revolutions. There's actually a ton of this video left. I don't know if this gets any better or why you would want to hear 35 minutes of it, but let's go on.
You're stupid, okay? That's not what it takes. And it's never going to happen like that. The only thing that could spontaneously erupt is most likely a counter-revolution, which is what we're in the midst of anyway.
Yeah, and how's the Democratic Party doing on fighting that? What's that? They are owned and controlled by people with the fundamentally same class interests as those who run the Republican Party, which in fact is launching not a spontaneous fascist takeover at all, but a meticulously planned one that has been progressively implemented with Democratic Party participation over decades. So again, just yelling at the audience that they're stupid when you are promoting this kind of opportunism, stop it. Get some help.
Wake them up! Everything goes to show that this statement is far too sweeping and exaggerated, but the basic fact set forth here is incontrovertible, and its acknowledgement by the left is particularly clear evidence of their mistake. How can one say parliamentarianism is politically obsolete when millions and legions of proletarians are not only still in favor of parliamentarism in general, but downright counter-revolutionary? It is obvious that parliamentarism in Germany is not yet politically obsolete. This is what I tried to stress yesterday when talking about liberals. Whether you like it or not, liberals in the United States of America are a more formative political bloc than whatever pamphlet reading left group that you have with your dumbass friends.
Yeah, so I'm starting to feel like this guy might not.
So Bergie, he said it, right? So you were wrong, right, Bergie? He said it. The pamphlet shit, he said it.
Friends.
Yeah, so I'm starting to feel like this guy might not be the biggest ally. Honestly, it's just hitting me like how much people...
Liberals, whether you like it or not, liberals in the United States of America are a more formative political bloc than whatever pamphlet reading left group...
Huh? What?
Group that you have with your dumbass friends.
Yeah, so I'm starting to feel like this guy might not be the biggest ally. Honestly, it's just hitting me like how much people watch Hasan. That's not good. We have some real vitriol in this passage against people who...
Bro, I might need to start watching Hasan. I haven't watched him in a while because you got to know your enemy, right? This is foul. You got to know, right? Holy shit. Vagina Bush. This is true though. I fell for a lot of the Jewish exceptionalism shit myself. Yeah, because they ingrain it in every media. It's in every media. You will notice it. Even when I was young, I was notice it because I'm in an anti-Jewish country, by the way. So I noticed it then. Indoctrinating Abu Turki crashing out. Abu Turki is using Lenin text to justify supporting the Democrats. Imagine that. Imagine that. This is a violation. This is a major violation. This is Silkhanaz. This is the hidden shaitan, bro. Well, it's not hidden, I guess. I mean, Comrade N. Hasan is a monster in sheep's clothing. Yeah, you can't be Free Palestine and then shill for the Democrats. Okay? It doesn't make sense. It's like being anti-murder, but you're fucking... give me a name of a serial killer. Who's a serial killer? It's like, I don't know. It's like you're against murder, but you're fucking a serial killer. I don't know. And you're telling people the serial killer is a good guy. I don't know names of serial killers, but yeah, it's like I'm against murder, and then you tell your friends, yo, this serial killer is a good guy, right? Charles Manson is a serial killer? Ted Bundy? Yeah, it's like being anti-murder, but you're like, yo, Ted Bundy is you should be friends with Ted Bundy. Yo, he's a good guy, right? Jasmine Carasa, Majority Report, Crystal Ball, Also Owen Jones been sussy, yeah. And many others. Don't trust these people. Jeffrey Dahmer, serial killer. It's like being against pedophilia, but then endorsing, Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden killed hundreds and thousands of Palestinians. What do you mean Owen Jones is not sus? Oh, okay, he's a very lip Zayo. Yeah. He's been sus since back in the day. I said he been sus. I didn't say he's sus. Bro, Bergie, if you can see this about Owen Jones, why can't you see this about Hassan? Hassan might be a Zayo. If you're shilling for the Democrats, you're a Zayo, my friend. This is haram, my friend. If you are shilling for the Democrats, you are most likely a Zayo. I be real. I swear down. Real ninja talk. If you shill for the Democrats, you are a Zayo, my friend. Proper haram, bro. Rubber dinghy rapids, bro. Proper haram. This is not halal, my friend. My friend, this is not halal. This is a violation.
Read pamphlets, which I thought that the whole thing of this video was he was reading a pamphlet by Lenin, which I guess is okay if you're just cherry picking quotes out of it for your cool dude streaming thing, but not okay if you actually read the whole thing and put it in context. Also, are communists supposed to do outreach and try to get liberals to understand our position, to build the communist base, etc., or aren't we? And what role does voting for Democrats have in this? I've yet to hear really a direct defense of that. Instead, there's a lot of going on the offense against critics, and it's really
Yo, Abu Tel Aviv, Abu Tel Aviv. Yo.
unclear to me what the terms are here in the first place, because all...
Yo, holy shit, this is it. Hassan is doing to Lenin what libs do to MLK and shit, exactly. Not just libs, right-wingers too, right, Colin? Holy shit. What they do to even George Carlin, whatever. Even, I don't know, even Mandela, what they do, yeah.
All he has done is misrepresent the Lenin pamphlet that he is reading passages from, and hasn't been particularly clear. I understand this is a clip, but at least in this passage so far, is not particularly clear about what the aims he wants his audience to follow are. What is it he's promoting? We can understand from outside context that it is Democratic Party progressives, but I have not really heard a direct defense of that in this clip. Instead, he's calling critics stupid or whatever. But yeah, I don't think it's going to work out. Let's continue.
That's just the reality. So you have to work within the existing reality instead of sitting around and fantasizing about a spontaneous revolution. Shut the up.
Again, we started on this clip. This is standard Democratic Party, a better world is not possible stuff. That is what this is. Right down to the misrepresenting the communist position as we think that a spontaneous revolution is just going to happen somehow. When in fact, I mean, there will be objective conditions that happen due to the breakdown of capitalism, another 2008 like moment, for example. But our position is actually that we need to work on the subjective factor as much as we can, build the class consciousness, build the organization for when that happens. And struggling against and resisting people getting sucked into the Democratic Party, which is what he's trying to do, with their endless lies about the indefinite sustainability of capitalism. I mean, look at Bidenomics. The entire thing of Joe Biden's, we're living in like a dollar crisis now, basically. The inflation is just going and going. It's not at hyperinflation yet, but the cost of living crisis is terrible. And that's the housing crisis. It's everything. It's basic affordability of everything that you need to live. And the Democrats' answer to that was pissing on your head and telling you it's raining. They don't have real solutions to this. And so we need to pull people out of that party, not lead them in. I said it 5 years ago in the Vosh Joe Biden video. They pull you right, you don't pull them left. That's how it works. And although there is a ton left to this clip because I think he just streams hours and hours a day, I am going to leave it here because we have come full circle, at least to how this clip was done. There's like another 20 minutes of this at least.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. That was an amazing video. Important, vital. Okay? Right. Yeah, so what's good, people? What's good? That video is important. I got to bookmark it. Yo, people are cooking in the comments. Good old Vladimir. Wait, what was that comment? Good old Vladimir, vote blue no matter who Lenin. Good old Vladimir, vote blue no matter who Lenin. Yeah. What? A lot of self-proclaimed socialists are just liberals with I can't pronounce this word. Beret. You Leninists are wrong and Lenin has proved it. People who call Lenin a borderline fascist. Holy shit. He's getting cooked. You're dirt or bust. You're trolling. So you guys think Hasan likes the Democratic Party? Wait, this is trolling, right? He just equated the Democrats to the proletariat move. The Democrats are going to start, a working class revolution. Kamala is a proletariat. Bergie, what do you mean y'all so vicious? We're the vicious ones, not the motherfucker getting people to support a genocidal party. That's not vicious though, right? He did good coverage on Palestine early on. Yeah, I guess so. But what's the point when you're getting people to vote for the party killing the Palestinians? Like, what is this? Vagina Bush. He was? Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the U.S. election. I'll be real. But yeah, you're a Yank. You have no choice. You're a USAian. He was shitting on the Green Party during the election. Even if you don't like third parties, you should at the very least use them as a threat to try to push them left. And yeah, if you understand the text, I understand it vaguely. Isn't that it's about running in your own party? It's not about running for the Democrats Party. Don't liberals have their own don't liberals have their own text books, pamphlets? Like, come on, man. Don't y'all have your own, books or some shit? I don't know. Why you gotta hijack some other people's shit, right? I don't get it. It's foul, people. I don't know, just Twilight. Don't liberals have books? Twilight or whatever? Like, I don't know, Interview with a Vampire? I don't know. Gray, what was that one? The Gray, I forgot the name of that book. The Gray something? Game of Thrones or whatever? Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. Mary Jane, don't you badmouth the vampires. Vampires are badmouth. Oh yeah, gay flag in White House. Yeah. This is the game is the game, okay? The game is the game. They do this all the time. But this is foul. Come on, man. This is foul. I don't know, man. Because it's the direct opposite, okay? The working class movement and the Democrats is the direct opposite. This is a violation. Alright, okay. Vagina Bush, I swear they appeal to LGBT women's rights and other identity stuff party to tie it to imperialism. Mary Jane, motherfuckers even got Bernie playing identity politics, really? Vagina, yeah, they do this all the time. Manufacture consent. See, the Browns don't like the gays. This is why you shouldn't take issue with us bombing them. You see, Malaysia don't like the gays, but you don't see them bombing us, so you know this is fuckeries. A lot of countries have brown people that don't like the gays, so you know this is fuckeries. Oh yeah, shit, I'm way above my limit. Holy shit. This is an amazing video. Amazing. So yeah, check out the video if you haven't yet. Socialism for all